This world is full of noise. Some of it is good, some of it is bad, and some of it is downright toxic. How do you navigate it? How do you handle people who seem to have one goal, to drag you into their chaos and negativity? We've all encountered them. The ones who are quick to criticize, slow to support, and only there when they can feed off your energy. They drain you, they manipulate, they twist your words, and they leave you wondering if you're the problem. Let me tell you this, you're not. When was the last time someone tried to bring you down with their negativity, their lies, or their energy-draining behavior? Maybe it was a colleague who took credit for your hard work, or a friend who undermined your confidence. Perhaps it was a family member who never stops criticizing your choices, or even a stranger who simply couldn't resist being rude. We've all been there, right? You walk into a room and instantly you feel the tension, the judgment, the weight of negativity. And if you're like most people, your first instinct might be to fight back, to argue, to defend yourself. But here's the question. How effective is that really? Does it make you feel better? Does it change the person's behavior? Or does it just feed into the cycle, bringing you down even more? What if I told you there's a smarter way? What if there was a way to handle toxic people that didn't involve arguing, fighting, or even reacting at all? That's what I want to show you today. How smart people treat toxic people. How they don't just react to the chaos around them, but instead they take control of their own energy, their own mindset, and their peace. Now, I know this isn't easy. It's tempting to give in, to stoop to their level, to throw a sharp word back at them. But let me tell you this, reacting that way gives them power over you. It gives them the satisfaction of knowing they can get under your skin. The smartest people, people who have mastered their emotions, don't give that satisfaction away. They know that their peace is more valuable than any argument or fight. They know that they don't have to prove themselves to anyone, and certainly not to someone who is bringing nothing but negativity into their lives. The next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how to take that power back. I'm going to share with you the mindset and the strategies that the most successful, level-headed people use to handle toxic individuals. It's not about being passive or letting people walk all over you. It's about being strategic, about recognizing that you don't need to engage in every battle to win the war. Stick with me. And by the end of this, you'll understand how to handle toxic people with ease, confidence, and most importantly, peace. This isn't just a speech, it's a game changer. And I guarantee if you apply these principles, you'll see your life transform in ways you never thought possible. Smart people know their worth. They understand that their time, energy, and mental well-being are precious commodities that cannot be wasted on people who don't bring value into their lives. When you know your worth, you're less likely to get involved in toxic situations because you recognize that you have better things to do, better people to be around, better goals to pursue, and better ways to spend your time. Think about it. How much energy do you give away to people who drain you? How often do you allow someone to affect your mood, your productivity, or your peace of mind? Smart people realize that they are the architects of their own happiness and success. They know that investing in themselves is far more important than trying to fix or please someone who is determined to stay negative. They don't waste time trying to change people who have no intention of changing. The key here is understanding that your value is not tied to other people's opinions or behaviors. Your worth is inherent. It's not based on how others treat you or how much they try to bring you down. When you internalize this belief, you start to develop an unshakable confidence that allows you to walk away from toxic situations without feeling guilty, without feeling like you're missing out, and without letting someone else's negativity steal your peace. By knowing your worth, you stop seeking validation from toxic people. You stop allowing their words or actions to make you question yourself. Instead, you surround yourself with those who appreciate you, support you, and lift you up. It's not about arrogance, it's about self-respect and self-love. When you operate from a place of knowing your value, you automatically create boundaries that toxic people can't cross. And you'll be able to walk through life with your head held high, knowing that you deserve better than the chaos they bring. Knowing your worth means you also stop tolerating the kind of treatment that you would never give to anyone else. You wouldn't let someone disrespect you, undermine your achievements, or criticize you for the sake of their own insecurities. So why would you let anyone do that to you? Once you acknowledge your worth, you'll begin to demand respect. Not through confrontation or anger, but through your actions. You simply won't settle for anything less than what you deserve. And that's the power of knowing your value. It changes everything about how you interact with toxic people and ultimately how you navigate life itself. Smart people understand that boundaries are essential to maintaining their peace and emotional well-being. They know that toxic people will often try to push, manipulate, or break through their limits in order to get what they want, whether it's attention, control, or simply a reaction. But those who are wise and self-aware don't just let others trample over their boundaries. They set clear, firm limits and stick to them. Establishing boundaries is not about being rude or unapproachable. It's about protecting yourself from the negative influence of others. It's about understanding that you have the right to control how people treat you, how much of your time they take, and what kind of energy you allow into your life. When you let people step over your boundaries, you're essentially telling them that it's okay to mistreat you. But when you set and enforce healthy limits, you send a clear message that you respect yourself enough to protect your emotional space. For example, let's say you have a colleague who constantly talks down to you, criticizes your work, or spreads rumors about you. A smart person doesn't just sit there and take it. Instead, they establish clear boundaries, whether it's by calmly stating that they won't tolerate that kind of behavior, limiting their interactions with that person, or walking away from the conversation. They understand that no one has the right to treat them with disrespect, and they're willing to take action to ensure that it stops in the time that undervalued time doesn't count. Smart people also recognize that boundaries are not just about what others can't do to you, they're also about what you won't do. They know when to say no to things that drain their energy, when to say yes to things that align with their values, and when to simply step back to preserve their peace. They don't let toxic people pull them into unnecessary drama or situations that don't serve them. But maintaining firm boundaries, they ensure that their time and energy are used for things that matter, things that contribute to their personal growth, happiness, and success. But here's the thing, setting boundaries requires courage. It requires you to be honest about what you need and to stand firm in your decisions. It means not being afraid to say no, even if it disappoints someone, and not feeling guilty when you choose yourself over toxic relationships. And while it may be uncomfortable at first, especially if you've been used to tolerating toxic behavior for a long time, it becomes easier over time, and it becomes one of the most powerful tools you have in protecting your mental and emotional health. When you start setting boundaries, you'll notice a shift, not just in how others treat you, but in how you feel about yourself. You'll feel more empowered, more in control of your own life, and more able to prioritize your well-being over toxic influences. And that's exactly what smart people do. They take control of their own space and make sure that only positivity, respect, and healthy energy are allowed in. Smart people don't let toxic individuals distract them from their goals. Instead, they stay focused on their vision and what they want to achieve in life, regardless of the negativity swirling around them. Toxic people often try to pull you into their drama, criticize your efforts, or undermine your progress. But the smart ones understand that every minute spent dealing with these distractions is a minute wasted. They know that they're in charge of their own journey, and they don't let anyone, especially toxic individuals, steer them off course. When you have a clear sense of purpose, it's easier to tune out the noise. Smart people have a vision, a set of goals that drive them forward. They know where they're headed, and they don't let anyone's negativity get in the way. If someone is trying to pull them into a toxic conversation, they recognize that it's a diversion from what really matters. Instead of getting caught up in pointless arguments or petty drama, they redirect their energy back into their purpose. Think about it. How many times have you spent hours arguing with someone toxic or trying to fix a relationship that was never meant to be fixed? How much time did that take from you? Time that you could have spent working on your passions, pursuing your dreams, or strengthening your positive relationships. Smart people understand that time is the one thing you can never get back, and they don't waste it on people who drain them. They're mindful of where they invest their energy, and they know that toxic people will only hinder their progress. The key to staying focused on your goals is maintaining a strong sense of clarity about what's important to you. Smart people have a deep understanding of their values and priorities, which allows them to stay on track. They don't get sidetracked by others' opinions or negative comments because they know that these are not the voices that will help them grow or reach their full potential. They stay committed to what truly matters, whether it's a career goal, a personal project, or a dream they're chasing. And they keep moving forward, one step at a time. Another way smart people stay focused is by surrounding themselves with the right people. They choose to invest time in relationships and communities that support their growth, rather than waste energy on toxic individuals who want to hold them back. By keeping their inner circle strong and positive, they create a network of people who motivate them, challenge them to do better, and celebrate their successes. This not only keeps them grounded, but also acts as a reminder of why they're on the journey in the first place. Staying focused on your goals also means learning how to say no. Smart people know that they can't be everything to everyone. They don't say yes to every opportunity, every request for their time, or every invitation from toxic people to engage in drama. They understand that their energy is limited, and they reserve it for things and people that align with their purpose. This ability to say no is a key part of maintaining focus and avoiding distractions. When you learn to say no to things that don't serve your goals, you create space for the things that truly matter. At the end of the day, smart people stay focused on their goals because they understand that the journey to success isn't always easy, and it certainly isn't free from obstacles. But the more energy they spend on what's important to them and the less they engage with toxicity, the more progress they make. And that's the kind of momentum that leads to growth, achievement, and fulfillment. They know that distractions and drama are nothing more than temporary obstacles, and they don't let them divert their attention from the bigger picture, their success, and the life they want to build. Now, I can certainly speak to this from personal experience. There are times where my mind will not let me build the next big thing. There are times where my mind will not let me build the next big thing. And smart people understand that responding to toxic behavior isn't about reacting in the heat of the moment. It's about mastering how they respond, not just how they react. There's a crucial difference between the two. When you react, it's often impulsive. You're caught up in the emotion of the situation, and you let it control you. You might snap back, argue, or let the toxic person manipulate you into an emotional response that doesn't serve you. But when you take the time to master your response, you're in control. You choose how you respond, and that puts you in the driver's seat of the situation. The smartest individuals know that responding with intention rather than reacting emotionally is the key to not letting toxic people affect them. They don't let toxic energy dictate how they feel. Instead, they respond calmly, rationally, and with purpose. This doesn't mean suppressing emotions or pretending that the situation isn't frustrating. It means choosing not to let those emotions dictate your actions. By doing so, you avoid escalating the situation and allow yourself to remain in a place of calm and control. A great example of this is when a toxic person tries to provoke you by making negative comments or criticisms. Instead of immediately snapping back with an insult or retaliation, smart people pause. They take a moment to breathe, collect their thoughts, and decide how they want to respond, if at all. They might choose not to engage, or they might calmly state their perspective without getting defensive. They understand that by choosing their response, they can de-escalate the situation rather than adding fuel to the fire. This mastery over response is also about knowing when to disengage. Sometimes, the best way to respond to toxic people is not to respond at all. If engaging with them only leads to frustration, hurt, or an argument, the wise choice is often to walk away. This doesn't mean being passive or weak. It means recognizing that some battles are not worth fighting. Smart people understand that their time and energy are too valuable to waste on people who are determined to create chaos. By walking away, they not only protect their peace, but also assert that they won't tolerate being dragged into toxic interactions. Mastering your response also involves staying rooted in your own truth. Toxic people often try to twist your words, gaslight you, or make you question your reality. Smart people don't fall into this trap because they know their own truth. They stand firm in their beliefs and values. And they don't let toxic people manipulate their sense of self. When you respond with confidence and clarity without being swayed by someone else's attempt to control or confuse you, you take away the power that toxic individuals have over you. Another powerful aspect of responding rather than reacting is that it allows you to maintain your emotional energy. Toxic people often thrive on getting emotional reactions from others. They want to see you upset, angry, or frustrated because that feeds their need for control and drama. But when you respond with calm and composure, you deny them that satisfaction. You preserve your emotional energy, and you don't give them the power to affect your mood or peace. This, in turn, strengthens your resilience and emotional intelligence as you become better at navigating challenging interactions without letting them get under your skin. Over time, the more you practice responding with intention, the easier it becomes. It becomes second nature to take a breath, assess the situation, and respond thoughtfully instead of impulsively reacting. This not only protects your peace, but also builds your emotional strength. The smartest people know that their peace is non-negotiable, and they respond to toxicity in ways that preserve that peace rather than surrendering it to someone else's chaos. In summary, responding intentionally rather than reacting is a powerful tool for dealing with toxic people. It puts you in control, protects your emotional well-being, and prevents you from getting caught in the endless cycle of drama and negativity. When you master your response, you regain your power, and the toxic people around you lose their ability to influence or affect your life. Smart people understand that controlling their response in difficult situations is more important than simply reacting in the moment. When you're faced with a toxic person, the first instinct is often to react. Maybe it's anger, frustration, or defensiveness. Toxic individuals know how to push buttons and get under your skin. But smart people recognize that reacting impulsively based on emotion only gives away their power. There is no immediate response. If some deal familiar, they don't let the toxic person control how they feel or what they do. Instead, they focus on mastering their response. This is where true strength lies. The key to mastering your response is awareness. Smart people are self-aware enough to recognize when their emotions are being triggered. They notice that their heart is racing, their hands are shaking, or that they're starting to feel angry or upset. Instead of giving into those emotions right away, they pause. They take a step back and give themselves a moment to think. This small act of pausing allows them to regain control, take a breath, and decide how to respond rather than react. When you master your response, you choose the best course of action. If you're dealing with a toxic person, you may decide to disengage, to calmly state your boundaries, or to simply not give any reaction at all. Smart people don't let their emotions dictate their actions, especially in situations that can easily become heated. They understand that their peace of mind is too important to risk getting caught in a toxic cycle. By choosing their response, they maintain a sense of composure and clarity that allows them to move through the situation with grace. One of the most powerful aspects of this approach is that it allows you to stay grounded in your values. Toxic people may try to bait you into saying something you'll regret. But when you have control over your response, you remain aligned with your core beliefs. You don't say things you don't mean or engage in behaviors that go against your character. Smart people don't let toxic individuals drag them into a space where they lose their integrity or become something they're not. They choose to respond in a way that reflects the person they truly want to be, calm, composed, and in control. This level of self-impressionism isn't about suppressing your feelings or pretending that you're not affected by the toxicity around you. It's about allowing yourself to feel your emotions, but not letting them take over. For example, if someone criticizes you unfairly or insults you, it's natural to feel upset. But rather than reacting out of anger or frustration, you acknowledge your feelings and then choose to respond in a way that protects your emotional well-being. You might calmly express that you don't appreciate their words, or you might decide that it's best to walk away entirely. Either way, you're in control. Smart people also recognize that by mastering their response, they protect their time and energy. Toxic people often try to engage you in arguments or drama that have no positive outcome. They want to suck you into a negative cycle. But by controlling your response, you avoid getting pulled into unnecessary conflict. You preserve your energy for things that matter, like your personal growth, your goals, and your relationships with people who truly add value to your life. You don't let toxic people steal your peace, and in doing so, you protect your time, your focus, and your emotional energy. Moreover, by mastering your response, you avoid the regret that often comes with reacting impulsively. How many times have you said something in the heat of the moment, only to regret it later? It's easy to be caught off guard by a toxic person's behavior, but when you respond instead of reacting, you avoid that regret. You give yourself the space to think, reflect, and choose the best possible response, which helps you maintain your dignity and your self-respect. In the long run, this ability to control your response creates a sense of emotional resilience. The more you practice it, the easier it becomes to handle toxic situations with calmness and clarity. You become less affected by the negative behavior of others because you know that your peace and emotional well-being are in your own hands. You have the capability to switch from brooding into the behavior that generates massive success, that motivates you and sweeps you away. You're not at the mercy of someone else's drama or negativity. You have the strength to choose your response, and that is a power that no toxic person can take away from you. In summary, mastering your response to toxic people is one of the most powerful tools you can develop. It allows you to stay calm under pressure, to remain aligned with your values, and to protect your emotional and mental peace. By controlling your response, rather than reacting impulsively, you take back control of your life and prevent toxic people from getting the best of you. It's a practice that builds emotional strength, resilience, and wisdom, and it's one that every smart person uses to navigate through the challenges of life. The truth of the matter is that the recovery process is the process by which we are transformed into the person we desire to be. And by completing that challenge, we are drawn. Smart people recognize that one of the most powerful ways to deal with toxic people is to maintain a sense of emotional detachment. This doesn't mean being cold or indifferent, but it does mean not allowing toxic individuals to control your emotions. Toxic people often try to drag you into their negative energy, hoping that you will become just as upset, angry, or frustrated as they are. However, smart people understand that getting emotionally involved in toxic behavior only gives that person power over them. Instead, they consciously decide to detach themselves emotionally from the situation so that their peace of mind remains unshaken. And when that is the case, no matter what comes their way, their emotional detachment allows smart people to observe a toxic situation with clarity rather than being swept up in the emotions of the moment. They understand that their emotional responses are within their control and that no one has the right to dictate how they feel. For example, when a toxic person is being rude or manipulative, smart people can step back mentally, remove themselves from the emotional turmoil, and look at the situation objectively. They may feel the initial sting of negativity, but instead of reacting, they recognize the feeling and allow it to pass. This detachment prevents them from becoming involved in a back and forth or engaging in toxic patterns themselves. By practicing emotional detachment, smart people also preserve their sense of self. Toxic individuals often try to make you question your thoughts, your worth, or your decisions. They might undermine your confidence, belittle your ideas, or criticize your every move. But when you detach emotionally, you remove yourself from their attempt to manipulate or control your feelings. You don't take their words personally because you understand that their negativity is a reflection of them, not you. This allows you to maintain your self-respect and self-esteem regardless of how they try to make you feel. It's important to note that emotional detachment doesn't mean ignoring your feelings or pretending that toxic behavior doesn't affect you. It means acknowledging your feelings without letting them rule your actions. Smart people know that their emotional energy is precious, and they choose to invest it in things that are important to them rather than letting toxic people drain it. They acknowledge that while a toxic person may say or do something hurtful, their words or actions don't define them, and they certainly don't define you. Additionally, emotional detachment doesn't mean disengaging from the situation entirely. It's about choosing to engage on your terms. If a toxic person tries to provoke you or pull you into their drama, you respond from a place of calm and control. You may set a boundary or walk away, but you do it without being emotionally triggered. This gives you the power to navigate the situation in a way that protects your peace, without allowing their negativity to overpower your emotions. In fact, one of the most powerful ways to detach emotionally is through mindfulness. By practicing mindfulness, smart people stay grounded in the present moment and avoid getting swept away by the past, which might involve grudges or unresolved conflict, or the future, which could involve anxiety about how the situation will play out. They simply stay present, acknowledging their feelings without judgment and choosing to respond thoughtfully. Mindfulness allows them to detach from the drama and emotional chaos created by toxic people and focus instead on what they can control, their own thoughts and actions. Detaching emotionally also helps you set clearer boundaries. When you're not emotionally invested in a toxic person's behavior, it's easier to recognize when they're crossing a line. You can maintain objectivity and assess whether or not you need to distance yourself from the situation or person. Because your emotions aren't clouding your judgment, you can set boundaries that are healthy and assertive rather than passive or reactive. The more you practice emotional detachment, the more it becomes second nature. Over time, you'll find that toxic people and situations no longer have the same power to trigger you. You'll be able to face difficult interactions with a level of emotional intelligence that prevents you from getting sucked into the negativity. This emotional resilience allows you to handle challenges with ease and to focus on what truly matters in your life. In conclusion, emotional detachment is a key skill that smart people use to maintain their peace when dealing with toxic people. It allows them to protect their emotional energy, stay grounded in their own sense of self, and respond to challenging situations with clarity and control. By practicing detachment, you don't give toxic individuals the power to dictate how you feel. Instead, you remain in charge of your emotions, your reactions, and your life. Smart people recognize the importance of maintaining a positive mindset when dealing with toxic people. They understand that while they can't control the behavior of others, they can control how they perceive and respond to those behaviors. Toxic people often try to provoke negative reactions, whether it's through criticism, manipulation, or negativity. But smart individuals know that staying positive in the face of toxicity is a powerful form of self-preservation. Instead of allowing someone else's negativity to infiltrate their own thinking, they intentionally cultivate a mindset that is focused on growth, optimism, and inner peace. The power of maintaining a positive mindset lies in the fact that positivity is an energy force that can shield you from the harmful effects of toxic people. When you keep your mindset focused on solutions, growth, and happiness, you create a mental space that toxic people can't easily penetrate. Even if they try to bring you down, smart people don't let their negativity affect their own inner peace. They realize that their happiness is not dependent on the actions or opinions of others. They maintain their sense of self-worth and keep moving forward with optimism, which not only helps them stay grounded, but also repels the toxicity around them. A positive mindset also helps smart people to reframe situations. When faced with a toxic person, instead of focusing on how awful the encounter is or how much it's affecting them, they reframe the situation in a way that serves them. They might think, this is a lesson in patience, or this person's behavior says more about them than it does about me. They take a step back and look for growth opportunities within the challenge. Reframing the situation shifts their perspective and prevents them from getting stuck in negative thoughts or feelings. Another aspect of maintaining a positive mindset is practicing gratitude. Smart people know that even in the most challenging situations, there is always something to be thankful for. Gratitude helps shift the focus away from the toxicity of others and redirects it to the positive aspects of their own lives. Whether it's appreciating the support of good friends, the progress they've made in their personal goals, or simply their ability to remain calm in the face of adversity, gratitude keeps them anchored in a positive state of mind. This helps them stay emotionally resilient no matter how toxic the people around them may be. Maintaining a positive mindset also means not internalizing the negativity of others. Toxic people will often project their issues, insecurities, or frustrations onto others. Smart people recognize that this projection is not a reflection of their own reality. They don't take toxic comments personally because they know it's not about them. It's about the other person's need to create chaos, seek attention, or shift blame. Instead of absorbing their negativity, they deflect it and choose not to let it affect their self-esteem or confidence or self. Another key benefit of a positive mindset is that it opens the door to healthier, more constructive responses. When you stay positive, you approach challenging situations with a mindset of problem solving rather than getting bogged down in emotions. Smart people are able to think more clearly when they maintain a positive attitude. This allows them to respond thoughtfully and assertively rather than reacting impulsively or defensively. They can set clear boundaries, communicate effectively, and walk away from toxic situations without getting emotionally entangled. A positive mindset also helps smart people avoid getting stuck in the trap of victimhood. Toxic people often try to make others feel small, powerless, or inadequate. But smart people don't allow themselves to be victims of someone else's negativity. They don't give toxic individuals the satisfaction of seeing them upset or defeated. Instead, they remain confident in their ability to handle whatever comes their way, knowing that they have the strength and resilience to rise above toxicity. Now, this shift in mindset is empowering, allowing them to take control of their own responses and decisions regardless of how others behave. This shift in mindset leads to the third generation, the middle generation, guaranteeing the morality and the leadership of the global church. This shift in mindset leads to the third generation. One powerful tool that smart people use to maintain a positive mindset is self-affirmation. They remind themselves of their worth, their abilities, and their strengths, especially when confronted with negativity. They practice self-love by speaking kindly to themselves and reinforcing positive thoughts. This inner dialogue serves as a shield against the harsh words or actions of toxic people. By building their own sense of self-worth, they prevent toxic individuals from breaking down their confidence or making them question their value. But there's more to a high five than a handshake. In other words, sometimes your motivation slips because you can't get away from yourself. Ultimately, a positive mindset not only protects smart people from toxic influences, but also propels them forward. It fosters a sense of resilience, gratitude, and empowerment that allows them to stay focused on their goals and maintain peace of mind. By choosing to stay positive, they create a buffer between themselves and the negativity of toxic people. And by doing so, they can maintain their energy, keep moving toward their aspirations, and continue to grow, regardless of the toxic forces that may be at play in their lives. So first and foremost, it's important to default so that you can remember